Fortnite's newest crossover is getting hate, but not for what you think. From an extremely controversial collab to clicks getting trolled, here are 20 crossovers getting roasted. The Walking Dead is back in Fortnite, and this time they have brought the most iconic villain from the show, only for Negan to look like this. Immediately fans roasted his outfit, despite the fact it was obviously from the comics, but they weren't expecting it at all. You see, the last Walking Dead skins were from the TV show, like Rick or Michonne, they look great. But for some reason, now you look at the Survivors and Armstead, and Negan is the only one from the comics. Fans are actually pretty upset about it, but they're not the only ones. Even his actor wants to be in Fortnite, with Jeffrey Dean Morgan saying it would be fun to have two versions of Negan. Despite the negativity towards this, the comic community are having a blast right now, so I guess they're the real winners here. Now, when we heard Clicks was coming to the game, immediately the community was split before the crossover even happened. Tons of fans pointed out that it was crazy epic willing to add him after Clicks had called Donald Mustard a bald, to his face. I think Fortnite realized that everyone makes mistakes, especially when you're young, so I understand why they chose to forgive him. As for crossovers that nobody thought you could mess up, people still found a way to roast Cowboy Bebop. When it was announced, the skins looked amazing, and fans even compared it to Overwatch and how much better Fortnite was. Well, that's until they looked in the item shop and saw the pickaxes. Yeah, instead of turning Cowboy Bebop's iconic ships into gliders, Fortnite decided to put them on a stick instead. What? Usually I'm on the fence when I see collabs getting roasted, but even I'm confused why they did this. No wonder people are angry. The same goes for the worldwide backlash of Fortnite's collab with The Killers. Yes, they brought Mr. Brightside, one of the biggest songs ever, to the Icon series, with fans super hyped, only for it to have the weirdest dance of all time. Immediately, everyone pointed out how it felt like they took a random dance from the files and slapped Mr. Brightside on top of it, and how it was the worst one in years, if not ever. It's wild how bad this is. Normally, I don't complain about skins or emotes, but this is pretty awful. But at least we had a pretty well-liked collab this season with Mortal Kombat. It had tons of outfits, mythics, even POIs on the map. What's not to like? Well, it didn't stop players from being disappointed about what could have been. Not only did some players think the crossover was toned down and too family-friendly, there were a surprising amount of people who roasted Katana. I'm not talking one or two fans here. There was an entire movement about how Fortnite apparently censored her design. In the games, Katana looks like this, which is obviously way different to her skin, but you clearly couldn't have this in Fortnite. I mean, come on. Despite this, thousands of fans were angry about it, saying they butchered her design. Now, I'll be fair, most people did understand why they covered her up. A lot of the anger was actually directed at her shorts. And I mean, I guess looking at it now, the shorts do look kind of weird, especially when you see fan edits of what you would look like without them, but still, come on, guys. Let's move on to a collab that also took over an entire season. Godzilla and King Kong literally terrorized the island and got their very own event at the start of every match. Despite the fact we had Godzilla and Kong in Fortnite at the same time, fans are pretty annoyed that it didn't go anywhere. These two are synonymous with fighting each other. That's like their whole thing, and yet they never interacted in game. There was no live event, and when Kong showed up, he was literally just a 5-second intro to give us loot. Everyone was hoping to play as Kong to fight Godzilla, and instead we just had to shoot his weak points from the ground. But things got super weird when Fortnite announced a collab with BMW. They were bringing the 1 Series to the game, and despite the fact this thing has 4 doors and is a pretty large car, Fortnite made it a whiplash. This meant when you looked at it in a match, they actually had to block off the back seats on purpose, so you weren't able to ride around with your squad in a car that should be able to do it in real life. Now, the reason fans are mostly angry at this not being an SUV is because at that point, the only other SUV collab was the Cybertruck. We all know how people reacted to this one. More recently, we got Wave 2 of Invincible, and, well, you know the theme of this video, so you know it got roasted. Except this one was funny because people complained there wasn't enough of it. We got Alan the Alien and Duplicate, yet there are so many characters high on their wish list, from Rexplode to Monster Girl, even Robot. Instead, fans found themselves cheering because we got a blue edit style for Mark, which, is pretty cool, but it shouldn't be the biggest part of a wave. Now, some crossovers are seriously controversial, like when Snoop came to the game. Everyone loved the actual collab, and then they realized his emote was a crip walk.
When the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot.
Fans were straight up speechless over this. They couldn't believe Fortnite would add such a controversial dance to the game. While it's a lighthearted dance out of context, you have people now wondering if little Timmy has got a crip walk during recess because he learned it from Fortnite. And speaking of Snoop, he came back just a month later with another outfit, taking the spot of the annual free Christmas skin. While it was a funny homage to his Snoop on the Stoop merch, people thought it was annoying because we just got his collab and now he was the Winterfest mascot too. same complaints were aimed at Shaq, who also got a Christmas outfit, except you had to buy this one. Now, I think we could all agree, some of the people in the community love to roast every collab that hits the game, and I think Sabrina Carpenter is the best example of this we have ever seen. Even before she arrived, fans were making fun of this, like when her espresso emote dropped. A lot of people were annoyed that we didn't get to hear the song properly and they ruined it, so Epic literally had to remove this from the game and bring it back with the actual song. While that was a good change, sometimes you gotta admit the hate is forced. Like when Sabrina's set actually dropped and suddenly people on Twitter were saying things like how she ruined Fortnite and they made a skin nobody is gonna buy. Maybe these guys really believed that, but what really sealed it for me were comments like, what the heck is a Sabrina Carpenter? I mean, it has to be bait. Whether it's genuine rage or not, it's hard to ignore the fact that people are roasting her collab simply for being popular. But on the bright side, there is the rest of the community that love this collab and can't wait for more songs to arrive. So other skins have actual reasons for getting hate, like Spider-Woman. Fans weren't sure about this one because after years of constant hits in the Spider-Verse, they dropped this and all we had to say was ketchup and mustard? Yeah, fans were hoping for the Spider-Verse version instead, especially when Miles and Miguel O'Hara dropped around the same time. Next up on the list, we're talking about Ice Spice, and she continues to get roasted by fans even in 2025. Recently, she dropped a new emote for BB Belt, and players are calling it out because Epic chose the worst part of the song as the dance. Hardly surprising the community are roasting this considering what Ice was trolled for back in the remix season. People are saying she wasn't considered a rap legend like Snoop and Eminem, and going as far as to call it the worst collab in history. I mean, it's a little harsh, poor Ice can't get to break here. On a lighter note, clearly her emotes are popular because Epic keep adding them despite all of the roasts. A musician that really wasn't received well was the return of J Balvin. He came back multiple times, and for every new skin, fans realized they had to pay full price every time. I mean, in the Redux outfit, it was literally just a new costume for him rather than an edit style. People straight up called his 2024 skeleton outfit a scam, but I'll be the first one to defend it. I kinda like this one. In my opinion, it's actually one of my favorites in the entire Icon series. I'm also a huge fan of the Attack on Titan collab, easily one of the most anticipated anime to ever come to Fortnite, and they did it with a bang. Not just outfits, but POIs, challenges, and even weapons like the ODM gear. Problem was, the Thunder Spears. These were so bad that literally nobody picked them up. Not even the most diehard Attack on Titan fans wanted them. Eventually, Epic had to buff them because they were so weak, allowing us to finally use them in a fight. But there is one collab that broke the internet more than any crossover we've had in years. I'm of course talking about Skibbity Toilet. This was easily the most unexpected thing Epic has ever done, and because of this, it was also one of the most roasted collabs out there. It completely divided the community. Some people thought it was hilarious, while others were not happy about it. This is easily the worst cosmetic that has ever been added to this game. This actually ruined my day. Adding this slop before One Piece? Okay, that one feels a little biased. But I'm not joking when I say this was so roasted that gifting it turned into a joke. People would send the Skibbity back bling to their friends to troll them because they really didn't want it in their lockers. So I'd be confident in saying this might be the most gifted item in Fortnite history because of that. Well, that's pretty funny. Nobody would be laughing if they opened a gift and got Iron Man's bass guitar instead. Yeah, Tony Stark was coming back to the game for the first time since the Marvel season, and literally everybody was hyped about it. The previous Iron Man outfit had an insane glider, and fans wanted to see a revamp considering the last one was exclusive. They scrolled through the set, waiting to spot the glider, only to realize there wasn't one. Instead, Epic handed us a bass guitar, something Tony really isn't known for. At least we got a famous drummer in the game, Johnny Silverhand. Yeah, the Cyberpunk 2077 collab was amazing, not only because of the skins, but also the fact we could drive the car around. The issue with it was lacking all the sauce we wanted. Fans were sad that V, a character who was meant to be customizable, ended up being locked to the girl version of Fortnite. And we also didn't get to see outfits of characters from the Cyberpunk TV show, which was insanely popular at the time of the collab. Maybe in Wave 2. And I could not make this video without bringing up the latest Marvel season, because from the instant it dropped, players could tell Epic were milking our favorite characters. The battle pass included Wolverine, someone who had been an inside joke for years at this point. Honestly, I loved it, but diehard Marvel enthusiasts were annoyed it wasn't an actual Wolverine variant. I will say, I understand the backlash for the Durr Rider outfit. We never got an actual collab for Robbie's Ghost Rider, and yet Fortnite released a Durr Burger version of him first. People were saying things like Robbie Reyes' jacket on a burger before a skin. It hurts me spiritually. They also double-crossed the Sabretooth fans. We didn't get a dedicated outfit for him, instead they merged it with Meowscles, causing even more Marvel followers to roast the season. Let me know which ones you agree with and disagree with in the comments. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.